Now we're in Nortonville. This was the site of the Black Diamond Mine, the most productive mine in the entire Mount Diablo coalfields. Coal was mined out of this ridge just over here, going underground and hitting those strata of rock under that ridge. So they mined it here, they mined it in Somersville, and then if you keep going, they mined it in the next valley to the other side in Stewartville, and they kept on going out to Judsonville and West Hartley. So altogether 5 towns out here that were centered around the coal industry. Each had its own railroad line going down to the river down there.
Nortonville was founded by Noah Norton, who started what he called the Black Diamond Coal Mine in 1855.
And he was not a very kindly gentleman. But Sarah Norton, his wife, was, and she was actually the midwife for both Nortonville and Somersville. She delivered all the babies. And for every baby she delivered, she planted a cottonwood tree down in Nortonville, and some of them are still alive. We'll see them. And she's buried up in the cemetery. She was killed when her buggy went over the side when she was rushing to help deliver a baby.
The mining boom here started in the 1850s, when a rancher cleaning out a spring discovered some coal. Soon miners rushed in from all over the United States, as well as from Wales, Ireland, China, Italy, Australia, and many other countries.
And there was all kinds of really active social institutions here. There were grange halls and community groups and sports fields and athletic groups. A lot of people living here in a very small space.
Men and boys would spend all day in the tunnels, emerging only at night. Robert Doyle tells the story.
They'd go in the dark and come out in the dark. They brought kids in that were 8 years old, and they were called knobbers, and their job was to climb up the stopes into the coal vein and push on greased sheets, sheet metal sheets, to push the coal down to the carts. And so if you can imagine that, being a little kid, plus the dust in there would have been just really, really bad. But that was food on the table. That was a life.
Before you leave Nortonville, have a look at the waste rock pile. It contains pieces of pottery and glass that might date back 150 years or so. And all kinds of rocks, pieces of coal they had no use for, shale that got roasted and changed to a red color, and even petrified wood.
Some of you probably know that coal actually is made of wood. Back when there were vast swamps in this area at the edge of the ocean, that's what made the coal. But sometimes those plants that made the coal didn't start to decay. Instead, they stayed in there as chunks of wood, and over time, over millions of years, they were replaced by minerals. And so sometimes you find a beautiful piece of petrified wood. When I show you this petrified wood, though, I need to say that this is a preserve, and like all the East Bay parks, you're not allowed to take this stuff home. You're really welcome to come here and pick it up, touch it, and examine it. But when you're done, put it back in the same place where you found it. So this is a place where you can come to reflect on both the mining history, the miners who created these enormous piles of rock, and you can also come to reflect on the history of the earth.
Veer left past what are possibly the relatives of some of Sarah Norton's cottonwoods, and head to the entrance to Coal Canyon and stop 5. Getting there will take less than 5 minutes of walking, but take your time and imagine what it might have been like to live here in Contra Costa's largest town in the 1860s.